Welcome to the Fuck the Stigma podcast, Charli.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes.
I'm excited.
As you can tell, she's a chef. She's in the chef costume right now. Just got done from whipping up some meals.
Yes, I did. Yakisoba.
But yeah, I wanted to bring you on here to talk about stigma and the stigmas you've experienced in your life. How many years of sobriety do you have?
I have been sober 31 years.
That's nuts.
That's a long time. That's insane for me.
I wasn't even thought of being conceived yet. Type deal.
I know.
Yeah, so what is your overall take on stigma and how has it affected you?
My overall experience, or I should say what I think about it, is not cool, because it's stigma is just judging a book by its cover, and everybody's different. Everybody, obviously, as we know, it's got different backgrounds and histories and so on and so forth. For me, growing up as a troubled child, and going through school, I was always in trouble because I was looking for a place to fit in. I was looking for a place to fit in. And then teachers perceived me as a bad child. Back then, that was a long time ago. Yeah. I'm 61 years old now. And so they perceived me as being a bad child. Back then, there wasn't let's look at the challenges with children who have ADHD.
Yeah, so nowadays, a big thing with elementary school is that the parent-teacher conferences is kind of discussing what's happening at home.
Correct.
Home life now. It's not even what is happening at home that is keeping them from learning at school.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big thing I've noticed is teachers focusing on that more.
As they should. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as they should, because whatever's happening with the kid in school, it's usually related to how the home life is, and in my case, I was raised by a single mother. I had one brother, and she dropped us off at the babysitter in the morning. From there we just got carted off to school and did our thing. She picked us up at nighttime, and so I really didn't have a full family life experience per se. We didn't sit down and have dinner after the day, and it's like mom was in a hurry. Throw some food at us, and here we go. Go to bed.
I actually really relate with that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So her claim to fame was tuna casserole. I can't stand it. Horrible. Anyway, because she wasn't really a cook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go figure. That's probably why I like to cook, because she was. My mom hated to cook, and she was not a good cook.
Yeah.
Because of that thing, because I was always in trouble, because I was looking for, I guess, love, looking for some
love,
whatever.
Attention.
Yeah, and I got in trouble. And that being said, I thought I was a bad child. I thought I was a bad person.
Because people were telling you were.
Yeah, because people were telling me.
You start believing that.
Yeah, they were because I was always in trouble, and I didn't know why I was doing it. Why am I acting like this? All the way till the time that I got sober, I couldn't figure out why I was always doing these things. Didn't realize what it was. I was raised Catholic, and so as a child, I was thought that I was just a bad kid. I was going to hell, and there was no way that I was going to be able to change who I was or what I was doing.
Yeah.
So that stuck with me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Thought there was no going back.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to hell anyway, so I just kept on going.
Because I sinned. It doesn't make sense to me, that kind of aspect of it. But I hear you can be forgiven.
Yeah, but as a child, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that's kind of how I grew up, with those kind of attitudes. And then I was, again, looking for love in all the wrong places. I'm, doing what we do as, teenagers, smoking at 12, drinking at 13. 13 was my first beer.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to hang out with people that they give me attention,
Yeah, where you felt seen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was getting some acknowledgement, so... anyway, long story. So here I go. There I went down my track of, drinking and using and boo and the whole thing.
You started young. Yeah,
I started young. After getting sober, I found more challenges, and that's where the whole stigma situation came in. I'm an ex-felon. I'm on parole. I'm an alcoholic / drug addict. I'm living in a rehab. It's just that all those shadows, all those things over me, and I carried them at that time because I didn't know how to own that and be proud of where I've come. 100%. I didn't know how to do that.
100%. I feel like those labels you were saying, convict, you're on parole, you're living in treatment, addict, alcoholic, all these things, we take those labels and they start weighing on us.
Correct.
In a negative way. Like, but now, like you said, you didn't know how to own it then. But you're
I
at
didn't
this
know how to
point.
own it.
But you're at this point where it's like, fuck yeah, I'm a alcoholic.
I can own it.
I'm a drug addict. Like, it's not. It's almost just a switch in perspective of what that means to you.
Correct. Like when I first heard the term, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, I was like, oh, I'm not always going to be an alcoholic. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, screw you, watch this. I stayed sober out of spite my first year because of that term that someone used.
Really?
Because I didn't understand what they meant was, as an alcoholic, I will always be an alcoholic. Because I have the disease of alcoholism.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I changed my perception of it, and then when I really understood it, now I can own it.
100%.
Yeah. Now I own it.
What were the kind of like the challenges through owning it? Examples, things people would say, things you went through.
Mainly, it was mostly about like, you know, when it came to like getting a job, you know, I fill out the applications, and the application would say, "Have you been convicted of a felony?" Yeah. You know, and I would put yes, and I wouldn't, and a lot of applications, and I would say no.
You want to be honest.
Yeah, because I needed to be honest, you know, for my own program, my own, you know,
conscience,
my own conscience, exactly. So I put on there yes, and I put a little note in there, and it would say, you know, we'll explain in an interview, you know, and I would get no calls back, no calls, until I finally said, you know what, screw it. I put on there, nope. I'm thinking, who's fucking checking anyway? Nobody's checking, you know. Okay, all right, but at least I needed a chance to get a foot in the door to prove myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I was intelligent. I'm like fast learning. I'm like, you know, the whole deal. I was 29 years old, and actually 30 at the time. So it wasn't. I mean, I should have been able to get a job, you know. Anyway, so I finally put no, and guess what? I got a job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The first job that I applied for, that I lied on, I got the job.
Fuck yeah.
And yeah, I did. And so I said, okay, here I am. And I'm thinking, oh God, don't let him find out. And then, so I proved myself. You know, I went from I was working in a restaurant, and I went from being a hostess to a waiter, to a waitress. I was waiting tables, and then I became the trainer of all the waiters. I became kitchen manager. And so during all that time, I was there like 5 years. That was a huge deal too. You know, been staying for so long in one job.
I've never stayed at a job longer than a year.
Yeah, I never had a job. Me either. Lucky if I had a job for 2 months once upon a time. Mm-hmm. And I was really close with the managers there. So I finally broke down. I told one of the managers that I got to talk to you. And he goes, okay. Because I needed to be honest. Because it was weighing on me, you know.
That lie. Just that lie from the application?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But during the meantime, I had brought in a lot of other girls who were from the same treatment center that I went to. And they were aces. Not all of them were aces. They were either complete failures or they were like fireballs. You know, so the manager would tell me, Charli, bring me some more of your girls. They're freaking great. Anyway, so I talked to him and I told him, I said, here's the deal. I lied on my application. I was like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, yeah. I said, you know, felonies, blah, blah, blah. I said, you know me and you know where I come from and the whole deal. And he just said, he goes, you know what? No more needs to be said. We're done. I don't know about it. I was like, cool.
Oh, like he was like, it's chill.
Yeah, like chill. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. What's done is done. We've been here for 5 years now. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, you did, and you did that. You did that exactly. Proved yourself.
I did. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Well, yeah, because it was like people were just like nobody wants to hire a felon.
It was an immediate judgment. It's so hard for felons to get jobs.
Even for parolees, for people who have been to jail or prison or whatever. How do you go? Even for an alcoholic or an addict, how do you say, you know, I'm an alcoholic or an addict and get a job? I mean, you don't have to divulge that, really. You know
yeah, you don't.
You really don't have to divulge it, but if someone did know, I think they'd be very skeptical to hire someone.
Yeah.
Which really sucks.
And I can see that 100%. Because there's this view of how we act. And honestly, from our experience in our past, when we're in the midst of addiction, we're really shitty people, not reliable employees.
Correct.
So, actually, I have a weird question. Do you think we alcoholics and addicts have made that name for ourselves?
I would say yes, but should we be judged? But should we be judged by the whole?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, should we be judged by the whole? I don't think so. I mean, I think that if we look at a person's track record, and regardless of whether we have had a horrible past or not, who are we now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're all trying to improve ourselves no matter what. Can we fall? Do people take chances? Yeah, they can. I mean, they do. It's hard to find people like that manager that I talked to. He was all about hiring the girls from the treatment center. He was all about it. Because why? Because I went in there and showed him that we can shine.
Fuck yeah.
You know, yeah. And he hired a bunch of other, like I said, we had some great women that came in there and worked. And he was happy with all of them. But it takes something like that to happen for someone to be, okay, let me give these people a chance.
Yeah, almost like proving them, like an action and like almost an example of, so they can change their opinion on it.
Yeah, because I was still in treatment, like living in a treatment center at the time. If I went in there and said, yes, I'm living in a drug and alcohol treatment center right now, would they hire me? No, they would not. But yet, after I had proven that we can be aces, good employees, great employees, as that matter of fact. Now they're like, okay, bring them on. So yeah, it was really great. It was good for all of us.
What were you in prison for?
Oh, well, let me see. A lot of stuff. The first time I went to prison, I was 19 years old. And
really?
I was ripping and running with, like some really serious people. And because I was a heroin addict. And I was like really young, and I didn't know. I got involved in drugs. This is what happened. I didn't like drinking because I would black out. So what happened was somebody says, try this, Charlie. I said, okay. So I started doing heroin. And because I could stay conscious, and high. Anyway, got involved with the wrong people, and there was a drug deal that went bad, and a guy got killed. Drug dealer got killed, and these two other guys were dealing with them. Anyway, long story short, because he got killed, and I was there, I was arrested, and they gave me 3 years for an accessory because I didn't call the police. How am I going to call the police? This guy just killed this other guy. Let me call the police so he can come after me or whatever.
Yeah.
No.
I wouldn't even have done that in that situation.
I know. Yeah, me either.
This is like a smart move to not call the cops.
Yeah. On someone who just killed somebody else.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I went, and then the second time I think was probably like a parole violation for using drugs. For getting high. Something stupid. The other times after that, I spent a total of 10 years. A total of 10 years in prison, on and off. I'd be like, it was 3 years, and I'd be out for 3 months, and I'd go back in for another 2 years, and then it was.
You're in this cycle, and I've heard that that's kind of how it goes with prison.
It does
a little bit, yeah. Like, why do you think people keep going in and out, in and out, in and out?
I think because after the first and second time, it becomes easy. It becomes easy,
comfortable,
and it becomes a lifestyle. I was institutionalized. Because I was so young when this whole thing started. It's like you go in, you get arrested, you go to jail. Okay, fine, oh my God, this is terrifying. Yes, it was terrifying, it was scary. Okay, we're chameleons. We have to adjust.
Of course.
We adjust to fit in and to live that thing. We have to adapt. And then especially going to prison, because prison is not the same as like county jail. You're in and out, and you really have to adapt. So then you get loaded. You get out. The cycle starts all over again. What do? You go straight back to drinking and using again.
Which led you back there in the first place. And then it's cozy anyway. I'm pretty comfortable and know how to work around prison.
There was a time that I didn't want to leave.
Really?
There was a time that I didn't want to leave because I had everything that I needed. You know what I mean? Why would I want to come out to the free world and have to like get a job and get a house and do this and there was a lot of responsibilities involved, and that I didn't know how to put into action. I didn't know how to do that stuff. And so, that was the time I didn't want to go. Drugs are just as plenty in there as it is out here.
Yeah. Really I feel like in prison, I think prison is, like, they have phones and such in there, right?
No.
But, like...
you can. You can get them.
Not much different, is it? Like...
It's really not, no. And it's like you have, depending on where you're at, I was probably in one of the cushiest prisons there is in California, which is CIW, and it's like there's two people to a room, and just outside it's like a college campus.
You said it's outside?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like Imagine like dorms, like dormitories, like with like just rooms down the hallway, and there's 2 people in each one. The door's locked, but whatever. And then, but if you go outside, there's like, it's grass, big open area, grass, tables, picnic tables, all kinds of,
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's actually
So it wasn't the worst experience.
pretty cushy.
Yeah, cushy.
Yeah, pretty cushy.
What was kind of like your relationship with your family through all of this?
My mom was a huge enabler. And I think that had a lot to do with me not getting serious about getting sober.
What did enabling look like?
Like for example, when I was in the county jail when I first got arrested, she would come and see me like, every day, because she worked like literally 2 minutes away.
Yeah.
And so she would come and see me every day. And then when I went to prison, she would send me packages and whatnot, and she'd come out and see me, and that went on for quite a few years. Because I didn't want it for nothing. If I needed something, mom, mom, and here I am causing all this havoc, in her life and other people's lives. And I'm not taking responsibility for, what I've done.
Yeah.
So my brother would not speak to me. He didn't speak to me for 7 years. Because of what I was doing, I was causing my mom, fear and pain and all this business. And he's like mama's boy. So he's like protecting mom. But yeah, he didn't talk to me for a long time. Yeah, so finally, my mother saved my life.
How?
When I called her one more time, I was back in jail again. And they said, will you accept a collect call? And she said, no.
For first time ever?
Her first time ever. She finally put her foot down. And she said, no.
Damn.
She said no because I think, thank God she did.
Yeah, so what did that do to you? Like, what were you thinking afterwards?
I mean, right away it was like, oh my God, my lifeline is cut off. Oh my God, I'm going to have to fend for myself now. So I had to, it was like, okay, what am I going to do now? Oh my God, no, I can't. How am I going to get stuff in here? How am I going to buy whatever I need in here? How am I going to survive in prison and make this cushy for myself one more time, Yeah, I mean, that went on eventually I kept trying to call, of course. And finally one day she said, okay, yeah, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not going to come see you. The whole deal. And I just
set a boundary.
She set boundaries, which she needed to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, all that enabling was only because she loved me. She didn't want to see anything, she wanted to take care of me.
She wanted to show love and that she was there. But at the end of the day, it was enabling and not beneficial.
Correct, because she didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But by her doing that, it actually woke me up. I woke up and went, wow, wait a minute. I've been taking my mother for granted all this time. And whenever we would have conversations on the phone, I wasn't asking her for anything. I was just, call, how you guys doing? What's happening? And I started to say, I would say, I love you. We never said I love you to each other. Even my mother, I'd say, I love you, Mom. And she would say, okay.
Oh.
Because she didn't know how. My mother was like kind of shut off too, And so then after a few of those phone calls, she would finally respond, and say, I love you too. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
But the reality of my life just kind of like slapped me in the face, And I was in prison when I decided to go to treatment.
Oh, that was your turning point.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yep, I said I got to go. It was scary, very scary. But I mean, but I also saw these things in there too. There's a lot of women in there that they're stuck in that cycle, And I was 29 at the time, 29. There was a woman that had been there. I forget her name at this time, but she'd been doing this thing for like 40 years.
The prison thing.
Yeah, in and out. Mm-hmm. And I said, I can't do that. I cannot do this. I can't live my life like this. And the reality of it is that, I remember I was at another prison before that one, this last time I went in, and I said, I'm not going to keep doing this past 30. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do it. So I remember.
Made a decision.
I did. I was determined. I was like, okay, God. I said, I had a conversation with God, and I said, if this is how you intend for me to live the rest of my life, I'm not going to do it. I was going to kill myself.
Oh, fuck.
If I could not change my life somehow, some way, and I didn't know anything about getting sober. All I knew is that I could not live like that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done. I still feel like that today.
You weren't even introduced to the life of, like, There was no exposure to the life of sobriety.
No, I had none. Yeah, I had no experience with, I didn't know that there was Alcoholics Anonymous. I heard of Narcotics Anonymous, but I had no experience with it. So, but I knew that I had to change something. I had to change my life.
So it's funny that you kind of steered a little bit into the mental health direction, because I was going to ask you about that, it being Mental Health Awareness Month. What has your mental health journey kind of been like? Like, have you struggled with it, and have you experienced stigmas with it?
Not really stigmas with my mental health, because I have not really experienced a lot of mental health issues. Besides, like, anxiety. That's kind of a common thing these days. Feeling suicidal has been, it's popped up in recovery. It's popped up before I got sober, of course. When I first got sober, it was like, I'm like ready to like just, be done. And along the way, there's been some struggles, but it's like, I know I reach out, I reach out. I spent my first 13 years in therapy.
Really?
My first 13 years sober out. Yeah, I was in therapy.
How was that experience?
Amazing. It was amazing. It was painful, but it was amazing. Yeah, I mean, I would go to therapy and we talk about my relationship with my mom, relationships with other people, and I never really realized how much stuff there was, to deal with, and I had a great therapist. I had two of them. They were phenomenal.
Two?
Well, no, it was one for 7 years and another one that I had for like 6 years. Guess they were sick of me after 6 years.
Like, damn it, Charli, I'm
done.
I
know, yeah. They're like, no, I gotta go now. Like, wow, okay. It's a long time to be in therapy, but there was constant stuff that we had to work on, And I thank God that I did that, because I don't think that I'd be sober today if I didn't, because there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Dealing with...
Substance abuse really ties into mental health, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Most the majority who are diagnosed with substance abuse disorder have it's like dual diagnosis.
Yes.
It's attached with something else.
Correct.
So I was talking to somebody else about this. I think it's our society and like the way the world is built today that has the biggest effect on mental health. Like our society, the social media, the not having drive to kind of do things for ourselves because of the man and like the government and society, like college being a scam and stuff like that. There's like more lack of motivation.
Yes.
The pressures of like society and like being something that you're kind of not. Do you think like the world today and the way it's built today compared to like 100 years ago or something is why like mental health and mental illness and mental health disorders are kind of rising? Compared
to 40 years ago. I can look at it now. I mean, I'm 61 years old and I was born in 1962. So, I mean, there's like, I could, from the time that when I was like, 15, 16, 17, 18 into my 20s probably, there was not as much, mental health illness going on. You know what I mean? And I will say this, I really believe that a lot of it has to do with technology.
100%.
Because life was so much simpler back then. We didn't have cell phones, when I was, younger. There was no cell phones. There was no cell phones when I got sober. There was not for the mainstream. There was no cell phones. Not even people didn't have computers in their houses. It was non-existent, and people relied on telephone, rotary, push button, whatever, beepers, pagers. Because of technology, I think that the pressures for people to succeed much more and much faster has risen a lot. And it puts a lot of pressure on, you know what I mean?
And hustle culture.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like that. It drives them nuts, insane. Like, am I just alive to just work?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have a friend struggling with that right now. Like, I don't know if this is the life I want. Like being out in LA, working my ass off for what? Like, why do I want all this money? You know what I mean? Like, money not really being the goal. It's just like, I need a deeper purpose and passion and meaning.
Absolutely. I mean, I was doing that for a long time. I was working, and people would say, Charli, let's go hang out on the weekend. Let's go do this or whatever. And the next thing I know, I'm here myself saying, I can't, I have to work. I can't, I have to work. And I said, wait a minute, we work to have a life. We work to enjoy life. Work is not our life.
Yeah.
So I finally got to the point in my life where I said, you know what, I'm wasting my life away working and working and working. Why? Because I felt like I had to. Why can't I work 4 days a week and have 3 days off like I do now? It's fabulous. You know, because I can enjoy my life.
Yeah.
I can go take a 3-day weekend if I want to. Just go somewhere. And,
That's
you know.
ideal.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, I heard about
As
something.
it should be.
Yeah, I heard about something they're trying to do that. 4-day like school weeks, 4-day work weeks, stuff like that. And like other countries, I don't know what it is about America, but other countries have like a higher rate of like happiness, for example. Like I forget if it's like Finland or something, like the happiest country in the world.
Oh yeah.
If that makes sense.
I was watching this documentary one time, and it was talking about the blue spots. The blue spots in the world are the places, the locations, cities, towns, whatever, that where they have people who are living over 100 years old. They have like these little clusters of people who are living longer than 100 years, and they want to find out why. And so there's this one guy, I think it was Zac Efron, went over there. Yes, you should look it up. Great documentary. great documentary. He went over there and he found out that these people have these easy peasy chill lifestyles. They go to work in the morning, they do some work, okay, fine, they do their thing. They take a 3-hour siesta. You know, they go home.
I've heard of that.
They eat, they take a nap, they go back to work, and they are so productive in the afternoon. Just like they are in the morning, unlike us. We take a half an hour break and back to work, and they're like, 3 o'clock, you're done. Oh, yeah.
It's something about the way we do it. I think
is.
it's detrimental to the majority of people's mental health.
Mental health first. Emotionally, I mean, yeah. Mentally, I would say yes. It's necessary for for the world to acknowledge us as human beings. We're not robots. You know, we're not mechanical things that just keep go. That's why people are just so burned out on the weekends.
Yeah.
You know, So it would be nice if the United States would do something like that. You know, I mean, so what if we work until 8 o'clock at night? You got to break in between. But I do believe that, you know, technology has a lot to do with the way the world is.
Yeah,
now.
the other thing with technology is the amount of content we're consuming. Like you're just swiping and swiping. You can see like this earthquake that has killed so many people, and then on the next slide, like a puppy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I see that.
It's like
and I can feel myself going up and down with these things.
Yeah.
I roll through whatever Facebook, whatever it is. I roll through and I see this like, oh my God, there's like this, something horrible's happening. Same thing. Next thing is a cute little bunny or whatever it is. Oh my God, how sweet. But it's like your emotions are processing things so quick and so rapid like that. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah. There's no way that's good for us.
No, it's not. No, when that happens to me, I start becoming anxious.
Yeah.
I get anxiety from it, and I go, throw the phone away. Gotta go.
Yeah, especially with like shooting coverage on the news. It's like now we're going around about our day paranoid of getting shot.
Oh yeah. I have a friend who was on Citizen. He go, Charlie, look at another school got shot up. I'm like, why are you telling me this?
Yeah.
I don't want to know. I don't watch the news.
It sucks because it's like, yeah, that should be like aware, like we should be aware that that's happening, but it's not good. I don't want to hear about it because I hate the way it makes me feel.
Correct.
Yeah.
And because there's nothing we can do about it. Mm-hmm. There really is not. There's nothing we can do about it. And it's like, so I don't watch the news because of that.
Yeah, I can't.
Because news can depress me. You know what I mean? I'll put on something light and fluffy.
Yeah, light and fluffy.
You know, yeah, something light and fluffy. You know, Family Guy, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Family Guy.
I like mindless things sometimes. I
do too, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The old cartoons are great.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's just stupidity. It's great. Yeah, it's easy. But I do think that, like I said, because I think back now, and it's like, you know, back in the 70s. 70s was the best freaking era ever. It was. Oh my God, the 70s was so great because everything was so chill. You know, there wasn't a lot of rules and regulations to a lot of stuff. You know, you could just, school was fine, you know, and I mean, for almost everybody, even, you know, growing up, it was like, there was no stress. You know, you could ride in the back of a pickup truck with no helmet. Like you get 8 kids in the back of the truck and go to the mountains. You know what I mean? That's
awesome, yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of people who are offended.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? People are offended by everything.
Yeah. Or something bugs them. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
What you were saying with like a kid riding in the back of a pickup truck, like somebody would complain about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other day I thought about this. Yesterday I wanted to post a thing on Facebook, and it was about the abortion laws, because I am not necessarily pro-abortion, but I'm in a way of like there's a necessity for it in certain circumstances.
Yes.
So I'm going, okay, so all you people who are protesting abortion, What about protesting, standing in front of the shelters that are killing animals? They're euthanizing cats and dogs all day long, every fucking day. Why not protest that? Life is life. Life is life. Because I'm a huge animal advocate.
Yeah.
Big time. So it's like, okay, what about that? But my fear of doing that and stating that would be kicking a beehive. So what I do is I don't say it.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be right.
Of course, yeah.
That's yeah. And it makes you feel scared to voice your opinion on it.
Correct, yeah, because there's so many people who are quick to
that's not right.
Yeah, people are so quick to fight. They're angry. And then I just get mad and retaliate, and then I'm not feeling good about it, so I gotta let it,
Yeah, now I'm like angry, but I gotta let it go.
yeah, and I gotta let it go because that's so stupid. I could say my life isn't all that I want it to be at this point, but I will say that I feel like I've been pretty lucky along the way. I've had people accept me into their families and into their homes without judgment, of where I've come from. And these are very important people, and it's like, wow, okay, because they've learned to trust me. They've learned that I'm not that person that I once was.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. It's really cool. But it also allows me to own who I was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not hiding it. I never turn my back. I never forget about who I was and where I come from. Because I wasn't a bad person. I wasn't. I was a sick person.
Yeah, you were untreated.
Correct.
You didn't even know that you needed to be treated, probably.
No clue. Didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yep, didn't even know.
Yeah, it is crazy nowadays. Like, people allow me to go cat sit for their cats while they're not home. It's just me in their apartment with their cat.
Isn't that cool? Yeah.
Like, people trust and confide in me.
Oh, yeah. One time my old boss, I used to work for the owner of BB. I was his assistant/chef. He says, Charli, take these paintings to the framer. Go take them, put them in your car, take them to the framer, go get them framed. Now, these paintings are Andy Warhol paintings. They were a series of 4, $80,000 each. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't drive these. Please, God, don't let me get hit. I'm here in West Hollywood trying to get there. I'm like, oh my God, which is the least amount of traffic way to get to this framer, this framing place. I was scared to death, but he trusted me.
Yeah.
He trusted me. I was like, wow. Yeah. I didn't trust me.
Yeah, you didn't. He trusted you more than you did.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He trusted me more than I trusted myself with those stupid things. But I did it. And then I was like, this is cool. Someone trusts me,
Is there anything else you want to put out there in terms of like awareness?
I think that stigma-wise, for anybody who's experiencing some negative stigma about anything about their life, their any mental illness, past life, anything, anything about them that they feel ashamed of because society has called it something that we should be ashamed of. Autism. Autism is considered to be like a negative thing. It's not. Autistic people think differently than we do. Bottom line, that's all it is. They're different. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing. Anyway, so what I would say is just, you know what? Find a way to own it. Own it. Be who you are. And because there's nothing wrong with it. We're all different. We all come from different backgrounds and different, lifestyles and whatever. I mean, it's just like, flowers. They're all different. They all look different. We're all flowers.
I know, we don't fucking judge the flowers.
We don't, for being different colors and smelling differently and the whole deal. No, it's like, why do we have... Society demands that we be a certain way. Everybody has to be a certain way. When I see the guy walking down the street with all the crazy clothes, he's wearing whatever, his crazy shit, I'm going, right on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, be you.
I think they're kind of cool.
Do you.
Like I almost look up to that because you have the confidence.
Absolutely. I went into Target and there was a guy in there and he was wearing like blue eyelashes and the whole thing. I mean, he had the whole deal on. And I said, right on. I said, man, I'm so proud of you. It's such freaking awesome. I said, be you. Yeah. Be you. It takes courage to do that. Yeah. I just wish everybody could have courage and be free. That's all. Yeah.
Thank you, Charli, for coming on the podcast today.